Hey beautiful souls, David Essery here. As you may or may not know, in my monthly newsletters I always like to channel a message for the coming month ahead, just to get an idea of the energies, what to expect. And last month, for the first time, I decided to film that message and shared it, and it was really well received, so I thought, why not do the same? And I'm very pleased to say I received a message again this month from the wonderful Melchizedek. This is what he had to say for the month of May. May is the turning point for this calendar year. As we step out of the great slumber and begin to direct our energy back into positive action after the great change that April brought. It is a month that will see many souls tentatively place their toes upon the golden path, to see how it feels before making plans for their great journey. For the time draws ever closer where they shall be projected forward into their final roles. I speak, of course, to the midway solstice, the point that marks the beginning of the end of the old and the end of the beginning of the new. A trajectory shift, if you will, where at last Earth sets its sights on the final destination. You see, a 6-month dispensation was granted after the last solstice, one to allow the inhabitants of Earth to adjust to its new frequency, to acclimatise to this energy in a more restful state for the great shift takes place. This has been a period of preparation, final release of the old, and a refocusing of priorities that will stand you in good stead for the work to come. Do not fear this transition. This acknowledges the return of natural order for the people of planet Earth. It is akin to the caged bird fearing its flight into the great freedom of the bright blue sky. Apprehension of the unknown there is, of course, but a sense of joy for the newfound opportunities it brings. My guidance to you during this period is to look after the self. This process speaks to the ascension of the soul, but for the current time at least, the physical body is of the utmost importance, so it may continue to house the Great Spirit within. I urge you to take steps during this time to look after it as best you can. Treat it with love and respect, and it shall help you glide through the coming changes. Yours in earnest, Melchizedek. Thank you so much, Melchizedek, for that message. Really beautiful and really, really exciting. This is what I've been feeling coming for so long, that we're about to take this big shift. And you may be aware that I also offer individual channeled messages for people, and a lot of the messages I'm receiving are saying very similar things, that we are just around the corner from something big. And he describes this in this message. Let's just find it, shall we? He says, the point that marks the beginning of the end of the old and the end of the beginning of the new. So we're in this transition period. I received another message the other day where they spoke to the phases of this ascension process, where there was one massive chapter of clearing, which is what we've been doing to this. And now we're moving into this chapter of renewal, of rebuilding. This is what came through from Master Alnak with the Beltane Flame. And that's why the energy came back through to us. If you joined me for my Lightworker Ascension gathering the other night, we were working with this incredible new energy that we've got access to, because we're starting to build anew. The time of clearing is coming to an end with what he calls the midway solstice, of course, the June solstice, where something massive is going to shift. And he says we'll be starting to move towards the new earth, essentially, starting to actually build this golden age we've been working forward for so long. And this isn't a case of tearing down everything that's there. It's building on top of it, starting to place, the fifth dimensional energy within the constructs of our world and evolving them into what the world is going to be, a supportive, loving, compassionate place where we all can be one in unity and love. This is what we're working towards. I know it may not seem like that in the world that the current time because it seems like a place of chaos. But that's the energies we've been working through. Every single person on this planet has been releasing an unbelievable level, whether they're consciously aware of it or not. And April was just a crazy month for it. Stuff coming up for people that that they didn't even know that were there, but that are life-defining things, what I like to call limiting beliefs. We all have these subconscious programs that run in the background that essentially dictate how we think or how our body works and stuff like that. And we've all got them in some way, shape or form, but they're in the subconscious and we've got no idea they're there. And that's why, we have to, as part of this process, they have to come into the conscious, they have to come forward so that we can work on them and release them. This is, of course, the work that I was doing with the incredible Azrael this month in my workshop, where she was asking some big questions of us to basically bring this stuff forward for clearing. I know from quite a few people that I've spoken to, messages that I've received, that April has been a really tough month. But from what I'm hearing, the messages now, that really was the last final push as we start to shift into this new energy in June. So really, as he ends his message, I will end it too. He's talking about the importance of self-care and looking after the physical body during this period. So, being loving to yourself, taking the time to rest, eating good food, getting exercise, the things that give our body energy rather than taking it away. These are the things that will assist us, as he says, to glide through the great shift, help us in good stead, keep our vibration high, keep us flowing with the energy. So just keep that in your mind as you move forward through the month. If there are challenges coming up and stuff like that, what can you do for you? And this doesn't need to be some big epic changing thing, but you can just ask yourself that question every single day. What can I do for me today? Can I take 15 minutes, half an hour to do something that brings me joy, that lifts me up? These are the things that can bring a massive shift to our own personal lives if we'd find the time to do them. But the reality is there's always time. We just have to make it. So there you go. It's our guidance from Melchizedek for the month. I really hope you enjoyed that. If you do, please do like and subscribe to the channel. I share stuff like this regularly, and meditations and all sorts. And I'd love to have you as a part of our small community. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Lots of love.